Hello and welcome to episode 75
Yes.
of Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Johnny Ruhal. With me, as always, is my co-host, Benjamin the Boy Shabbing. And joining us this week is our oftentimes guest, Brock the Heron Bromlevy. I asked, while you were in the bathroom, I asked Ben if I just call it, what if I had the nicknames The Boy and the Heron? And he said there's a right answer as to which one is which. Did I get it right, Ben?
Yes.
Are you jealous that Brock gets to be the Heron?
Yes.
But you see the fact that you are the boy.
Yes. I see that Brock is the Heron, at least.
Yeah.
Is it because I'm the ugly one?
No comment.
I don't think you can call me the boy, even though I'm younger than you.
Okay.
Brock is the youngest of us, but I don't think you can call me the boy. I think you have enough D&D characters where you're just like your little.
I'm a
you're
small
like,
little hippo boy.
Yeah. I just think of that and I think, yeah, that's a part of Ben's personality. It's just to act like that. And yeah. I don't think that's necessarily part of my personality to play a character like that. But this week is a special episode. Mm-hmm. This is a jaunt through Anime Territory's Studio Ghibli journey.
Okay.
Brock wanted to watch all the Miyazaki movies. Not all the Miyazaki movies, all the Studio Ghibli movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which involves watching all the Miyazaki movies. Because we did start with Castle of Cagliostro, though we're not officially ranking it. We might talk about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Brock has very different tastes to us. So we kind of figured we'd make our rankings. You and I already had rankings. You lost yours. I still had mine, but I needed to add The Boy and the Heron and Earwig and the Witch to the rankings. I also shuffled them up a little bit from my original rankings. So we're just going to have Brock go through his list. Ben and I are going to react. And then if there's still time left, Ben and I will go through our lists to get it on the record.
Okay.
But that's the idea of this episode. We're going to talk about every Studio Ghibli movie. We've watched one a week. We might have skipped a few weeks just because I was sick.
Mm-hmm. Or holidays.
Or holidays. And
whatever.
Yeah. So, it took us more than 25 weeks to watch all these. But not that much more. Maybe 27 or 28 weeks to watch them. Yeah. It got us to a point. I just want to say it's been a good bonding experience for us. We're going to continue movie night. Not always going to do anime directors, but we might do like Satoshi Kon sometime. Mm-hmm. And then maybe we'll be graced with another episode like this in the future.
Yes,
who knows? So let's start. Brock, do you have your list present?
Yes.
Okay. What do you have listed for your?
Hold on. Do you have a caveat for this list? Is this these are my favorites? I think you said these are your most...
My caveat is these are the ones I'm more likely to rewatch.
Okay.
Not necessarily ranking them of how good of a story. Because some of them were definitely not directed towards my kind of person, an adult male.
So this isn't necessarily best. This is more like...
I would like to
my
note...
favorite.
I'm sorry. I would like to note that you said this is not geared towards my kind of person. An adult male. As if the three of us weren't all adult males and our lists are drastically different than
well,
yours.
yes.
I'm just... Oh, God. Okay. Just,
what you're saying
I know what he's entailing, so I'm not going to be happy.
You're saying this is
I
an
have
adult...
two of them on the bottom.
This is...
You guys know what they are.
This is an adult man-child's list. Is that what you're going for?
No comment.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Alright, so you all know that if I don't show up again, these two have...
If the podcast abruptly
kick me out
ends,
of friends.
It means we killed Brock.
I was just going to say kick me out of the friend group. I wasn't going to go that far.
No, it probably deserves the killing.
If we're going to kick you out of the friend group, we might as well kill you. You're going to show up anyway. We tried to kick you out of the friend group in grade school. It didn't work. We have to take more drastic measures.
Okay. So, this, again, rewatchability, not necessarily the best.
Now, but it's also not necessarily your favorites then. Are there movies that you ranked lower? Are there movies that you liked more that you ranked lower than movies you liked less just because you're more likely to rewatch the movie that you like less. Like okay, for instance, as an example, I have
I can get an example if you don't have one.
no, it's just my list all of a sudden fucked up, and like it's where I had Howl's Moving Castle. It had a checkbox instead of a number, and then my list started back over at 1 after Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it has something like that. Howl's is lower than several others, though I would probably watch Howl's over them, but it's like rewatching Howl's, I kind of agree with you guys on.
Well, so I was gonna say, I have Grave of the Fireflies ranked, somewhere on the list, and there's a part of me that knows, like, okay, this is a really good movie. It's probably better than some of these other ones, but I like these other ones more. But I'm like never gonna watch Grave of the Fireflies again.
Yeah.
But will I watch Howl's Moving Castle again, which is ranked lower on the list?
Sure.
Lower meaning worse on the list? Yes. So mine is more, it's part subjective, part objective of me being like, this is a good movie. So I guess, yeah, it's my favorites, per se. But it's not necessarily rewatchability.
Yeah, mine is basically favorites.
Yeah. Because I can't rank things it's impossible to rank things objectively. And there's movies like, yeah, this movie needs to be high as hell, even though looking at it, it's probably not as good of a movie.
Okay.
So, that all caveats aside, let's start, Brock. Number 25.
I have Ocean Waves.
Ocean Waves at number 25. Which I think is a respectable answer. Not an answer I agree with.
It's like, I will totally give that. It is a good movie. It's just not my kind of movie.
Yeah, it's just sort of a character drama.
Yeah.
That doesn't really, like, go very much. It's not like, okay, well, I like, You've Got Mail. But that has a really, like, spoilers for You've Got Mail.
He has poison ivy up his right.
But it's just like, okay, we get our happy ending. Whereas this is sort of like, sort of an ending. There's sort of mutual feelings there, but no, like, cathartic, like, yes, now everything's gonna go well.
I guess I should have also pointed out, about half of these movies I've only seen once, and that was during this.
Yes. Okay. So it's kind of, your opinions change on things.
Sometimes you need 2 viewings for some stuff.
So Ocean Waves, I think I'm the controversial one when it comes to Ocean Waves. So I can respect you putting Ocean Waves at number 25. I'm not mad at you yet.
We're good. All right.
24, Only Yesterday.
Oh.
That's the other that I knew you guys would.
All right. Well, it's been fun.
You've ranked Only Yesterday. It has double the score that mine has. That's not the right word.
Half the score.
Yeah, it's up for us.
Yeah.
I guess I understand that, because that is a very...
It's the same thing with Ocean Waves. It's just
sort of like
a
story.
Yeah. It doesn't vibe with everybody.
Yeah.
It's sort of a, hey, remember being an awkward kid and, like, being a little fucking brat? And now just feeling like, it's melancholic. It's slow. Again, nothing really happens in the movie. It's not very, like, exciting, per se.
I think it's great, though.
Yeah, but Shabs and I eat that shit up.
Yeah.
Okay. I am upset, but I can understand that one.
Yeah, upset but understanding is where we're at right now.
Yeah. 23, Tales of Earthsea, which I know Johnny is now gonna hate me for.
No.
Nope, you're fine.
No?
No.
No?
I like the Earthsea books. I really do.
That's what I'm wondering. I need to read those.
This is a sort of a conglomeration between 3 and 4. It's sort of the plot of 3, but then they just throw in, like, half the characters are from book 4. Tanar and Tahanu. I don't remember her used name. with the dragon girl.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers.
Or like book 4 is about them and Sparrowhawk, and it's like, but book 3 is about Prince Aaron and Sparrowhawk, and it's just like, and Cobb, the sorcerer, and those like the drugs or whatever that get mentioned once.
I think Earthsea looks very good.
Yes,
animation wise,
CGI on the dragons holds up.
Yeah, just a bad story though.
Yeah, they just combined.
It's
two
like
books.
the third act is where it falls off.
Yeah, it's not. Which like it would be hard to adapt an Earthsea book.
Mm-hmm.
So like I get why 3 is definitely the one where it's like, okay, there's an actual like sort of showdown in this, whereas all the other ones are sort of like, you'd watch the movie and be like, that's the fucking ending? That was nothing.
It's like, speaking of that, if we could go to
and like in the book, it's like sort of like, yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination. It's about, you know, I'm just thinking of A Wizard of Earthseas, the first one, where it's just like, okay, wait, what happened at the end? Why did that work now and not like the other times that they ran into each other? Like, so it'd be hard to adapt an Earthsea book because Ursula K. Le Guin is just that kind of writer where it's more about, you know, I don't know, the journey and living through the tedium of things. I don't know how to describe it, but it would be hard to adapt an Earthsea book. So I understand that they made some choices, and those choices just didn't collaborate into a good movie.
All right, 22.
22. Because of the ending, Earwig and the Witch. Okay. That's the one we just finished.
So it would have been
higher. I wasn't that mad about the... Can we just talk about Earwig and the Witch's ending? What did you rank? You ranked it 22?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't ranked 23, but just to be honest. But can we talk about the ending of that movie a little bit? So, spoilers for Earwig and the Witch. So if you really, really care about Earwig and the Witch, I guess... What are you doing listening to this anyway? I guess you might be like, maybe somebody will rank Earwig high.
Nope.
Not going to happen.
Wrong podcast.
But I think it's kind of charming, Earwig and the Witch.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah. It's a little charming. The ending is sort of like hey, here's a flash forward 6 months. Here's where they're at. And now, I think the moment that you're just like, what the fuck, that's how it ends, is because her real mom shows up. And I can just see, like, oh, it's just going to be, you know, that new dynamic that they have is, you know, moving forward in Earwig Book 2 or whatever. Yeah. It's going to be, you know, trying to just, you know, okay, now the real mom is here to either stay or be a crappy mom. It's one of those two things, you know, and, like, leave again or something.
It's just very abrupt.
Yes. It's just like, hey,
but
here's
also,
this character.
It's a 3D kids movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
No, it's all about the little boyfriend that
Custard.
Custard shows up, and I don't get to see his reaction to the Manticore. He's now in the house. I want to see what he does.
Okay.
I mean, we see his reaction to the Mandrake
in the post credits.
The post credits.
All credits.
Not the post credits. The credits. Backgrounds. Mm-hmm. It's just, which I got that was sort of the 6 months in between the time skip there. So, you know, we get plenty of his reactions to the Mandrake of just him being like, nope.
All right. 21. My neighbors, the Yamadas.
What's the Yamada with you?
I
don't have it that high, so yeah, we're good.
There's the only like problem, because I've got Yamadas at 20. I'm keep spoiling my list, but that's just how I talk about things. So I'm not mad about it being at 21. I guess what I'm mad about is there's so many other movies. There's 5 movies I rank worse than that, and you've only named 2 of them. So it's like. But also, I ranked the Yamadas last when I first made this list. And it went up in ranking. So I was like, oh, this is just fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that movie...
Now that I know that it's just going to be like a little clip show of like comics and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, this is great. And then when he's a superhero riding around on a scooter, amazing. The sequence is awesome. So it got bumped up. It doesn't hurt that we didn't have Earwig on the Witch before, but still, I'm just like I would put so much other stuff below Yamada's.
It's low on the list, but I still find it delightful.
Yes.
Yeah, it is
Which
delightful.
I'm perfectly, when you get to, honestly, the only like my number 25 is something that is, I think, hard for me to watch again. Maybe my 24 I just have very little interest in, but I won't say what it is.
Okay. So then 20, The Secret World of Arrietty.
Arrietty. Okay.
Arrietty. Yeah. That was just one of those where I'm like, I would definitely rewatch this. I'm now in the part where someone's like, hey, we're watching this. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll come.
Yeah, like people I want to hang out with are watching a movie and it's Secret World of Arrietty. Yeah. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
If I want to go hang out with those
I'm
people.
definitely not going to suggest it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it pretty low on my list, so I'm not a huge fan of this one. But it's nice.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Arrietty. I'm just surprised. I guess now.
Sorry.
Now I'm surprised it's ranked so high.
I gotta tell you. I gotta say the joke. Borrowers, more like stealers.
Yeah, they don't give shit back.
Yeah, no. The 19 is the one that if I watch it again might go up more. Is The Boy and the Heron.
You have The Boy and the Heron at 19.
Just because.
Okay.
Watched it only the once, and
the only justification I have for this is I feel like I have it pretty low too, just because I need to see it a second time.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of movie that it's like it's a little complicated.
I might have
in my
put it
mind.
higher than it will ultimately end up, but I kind of put it a little high.
Okay.
Because I'm just like, I think if I revisit this, I'm just gonna enjoy it more, as opposed to like am I going to? You go into it, it's like this is Miyazaki's potentially last movie. I hope to God it's his last movie. He's already talking about working on another movie, but it's just like, dude, retire.
Nah, let him do what he wants.
Don't die in the middle of a production and have somebody else take over, so that I live in a world where everybody shits on a movie that I might potentially like because they think Miyazaki would have done a better job if he could have finished it. I don't want to live in that world. Anyway.
I think it's probably a little too low, but again, I understand that.
It's hard to rank it.
It is new. You might need a second watch on this. There's a lot to unpack in that movie.
And I definitely went into it like, okay, I need to like focus on this movie and decide moment by moment, is this good or bad, instead of just sitting and watching it.
Kind of thing. I feel like I was going in preparing for more of like a Wind Rises, and I got Spirited Away. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I had no idea what
I was
a little bit
of a
into.
shock, but
I knew the Heron was antagonistic going in.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, there's something with this Heron, but I don't know what I'm getting with it. I will say, just put it out on the record, we like the Japanese name better, How Do You Live? I understand two points here. Number one, this is an animated movie, and if you're trying to market to people that are trying to find a place to take their kids over the weekend, they might not take them to a movie called How Do You Live? But they may just be, I don't know, there's an animated movie called The Boy and the Heron. Okay, we'll go see that.
And then they watch it, they're like, what the hell is this?
Are the Wada Wada sperm? What is this?
What's up with these parakeets trying to eat people?
Was that Dave Bautista?
Wait.
Why is that perfect casting as the Parakeet King?
Such a good casting.
Yes, it is.
Alright, I gotta put this up higher now.
You're restructuring your list in the middle of the podcast.
No,
I made one swap right before.
Okay.
I have one other thing. Oh, the other marketing point is How Do You Live is an actual novel, and this is by no means an adaptation of that novel.
Yes.
This is just we want to call it How Do You Live, and the book How Do You Live plays a plot point in this movie. The boy finds the book How Do You Live, and it has notes or something from his mom in it, or I don't know. But it's just this is by no means
a
no means an adaptation of How Do You Live,
Mhm.
other than maybe in themes or something. I haven't actually read it, but that's
Yeah.
the gist. So I understand renaming it.
Yes. Okay. So, Boy and the Heron, probably a little too low, but I understand.
Yeah. 18 from Up on Popley Hill.
Pop.
Okay. From Up on Poppy Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
18's an okay place for this, I think.
This is the one. I like this one.
Yes.
There's one flaw to this movie. Other than that, I really like this movie.
Yeah, adults need to talk about things when babies are involved
Yes.
to make life more bearable. I also just remember the first time we watched this was ranked way lower. It's moved up on my list. Not as far up as it is on your list, but it's moved up because I'm like, okay, I know the ending here. And I just remembered, like, when we were going to be watching, I just remember dreading, like, it's been like half the movie dealing with this issue, and it's not that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff. Ron Howard's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18's a respectable place. There's definitely stuff I like better than it, but I can understand.
I'll give you a spoiler for my list. This is my number 18, so we're right on.
Okay. Yeah, I think we have to point out when that happens. When Brock is right on with one of our lists. It hasn't happened yet. He's come close.
I mean, he put Only Yesterday at 24, no wonder it didn't happen. I think that's the only time. Our lists have been kind of similar. I got a lot of that you've listed have been on my lower lists, but...
Yeah.
So you've listed, let's do quick lightning round, go through the ones that you've listed there.
Ocean Waves, Only Yesterday, Tales of Earthsea, Earwig and the Witch, My Neighbors, the Yamadas, Secret Life of Ariete, Boy and the Heron from Up on Poppy Hill.
So there's only 2 movies in my lower ranking that you haven't mentioned.
Okay, well that at least makes me feel better.
Which I think that just means The Boy and the Heron and Only Yesterday are ones that I have ranked way higher. So
yeah, which I probably bet if I rewatch all these, because these have all been movies that I've only seen once.
Okay.
If I rewatch them a second time, they'd probably go up. Like The Boy and the Heron would probably go up, I think, over.
I'm thinking. So we've been talking about what we're going to be doing for how we're going to continue movie night, and next week's movie is just a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to start on another theme. We haven't fully decided though. We're fairly for sure we're going to do Wes Anderson movies,
or at least some.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But we also have just fully said but we can break away. We don't have to do a one-off in between our big chunks. We can be hey, let's really go watch this movie. So I think when Boy and the Heron comes out on Blu-ray, I'm gonna buy it, and then we can break from our normal movie night and rewatch Boy and the Heron. Because I don't necessarily want to start on rewatching Ghibli movies at this point.
No.
This will be the second time in 5 years that Ben and I have gone through all the Ghibli movies. The only difference this time is that we watched Boy and the Heron, Red Turtle, and Grave of the Fireflies.
Yes.
Everything else, we watched through all of them. Even Earwig came out later.
We did watch
Earwig,
though, yeah.
We did watch it, though. Yeah. So,
okay. What's your 17?
17 is The Wind Rises.
Oof.
Okay.
Okay.
See, I feel like it's definitely too low, but I don't have it that much higher, if I'm being honest. The Wind Rises does not have a lot of rewatchability for me.
Which is fair. I think just the main thing is because they took a little, spoilers for this, a little liberties with his romance life in the movie versus what actually happened in real life. I think that was the one.
In real life, he was just married with kids.
Yeah. No, they took the story parts of the story are not this dude's life story.
Yeah.
The airplane parts of this story are this dude's life story. The actual romance of him and his wife is from a fictional novel.
Yeah.
That they then just applied to this dude, and they're like, but I got the order of the airplanes right.
Yeah.
I just really like this movie.
Yeah.
I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's a very beautiful movie.
They got Hidekiano.
I think it's a very beautiful movie. This is the one that we watched dubbed.
We watched this subbed.
We watched this sub. I don't know why I said dub. We watched
The
all
dub would honestly probably be ranked about this for me, but watching the sub, I really liked it more.
It is better subbed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is about it. I just don't want to rewatch it very often. I think it's very beautiful, but so is a lot of these movies.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like it.
Yeah. 16 then. The Red Turtle. I can get why people might not like it. I just found it charming.
Mm-hmm.
At least for a first time watch. For all this.
Okay.
Probably if I'd ever rewatch it and all these the second time, it'd probably go lower, but just the first time watching, it's like, oh, this
I've got it about this place. Not exactly at this place, but I'm like, this is good. I'm glad that this piece of art exists.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have a lot of rewatchability, I would say. It's very atmospheric, obviously, because there's no dialogue.
Yes.
They say that there's no words, but that's a bit of a stretch. They definitely said, hey! Or, help! It's like, those are words. But I get why they would describe it like that. But no, this is about where I have it at 15. So you having it at 16.
No, it's just a really cool movie that you watch once and probably will never watch again.
We're really getting into the point where it's just 16 and on. These are all good movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly,
I think they all have their merits.
Yeah, I think everything from 20 on in my list has its merits. 21 is fun. 22 is charming. 23 is charming. 24 I don't give that much about, and 25 is Tales from Earthsea.
So again, I would say it looks really good, and the first maybe 20 minutes is kind of fun, but then
it gets a little weird.
Yeah.
And then it gets transcendent.
Okay. 15, The Cat's Return.
You have The Cat Returns so high.
Yeah, that's a little high.
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
I get it.
I get why.
It's a really fun movie, but I just don't think it's, in terms of the story and just everything, I just don't think it matches up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's
there's
so many. It does well in lightweight, fun movie, but you go into the medium weight, the heavyweight movies, no, it's getting knocked out.
Yeah, and it's not getting back up.
It's not a pretty knock. It's not a noble knockout. They don't go the distance like in Rocky.
No,
it's a 2-punch knockout.
Yeah,
I'll say, no, definitely on that. The Ocean Waves and Yesterday. I'm not so stupid to understand that. Oh, these are worse than this. No, they're better than this. I just personally like this one.
It is more rewatchable, I guess.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt that it's really short, too.
And it's got good voice acting, too.
Yeah, there's some good dub voice acting in it. So it's yeah, I get it, I guess. But this one is sort of no, just drop that. Yeah. Drop that down. There's so much stuff that deserves to be higher than this.
Again, it's a fun movie. I like it. It's just, it's not in the higher tier. But even then, 15, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
14 now. Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay. I feel like we've kind of turned... Did you expect Howl's to be this low on your list when we started out?
No. I... Because when we first watched it, back...
In
it was
high
either
school.
Our senior or junior year of high school, right after. I remembered and I enjoyed it. I just, however, realized I didn't remember the, last third of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really falls off.
And then that's where I'm no.
We do get peak Sophie, though.
Yes.
Short hair Sophie.
Short hair, gray hair Sophie.
Book's better. I'll just say that. Until yesterday, 2 days ago, I owned 2 copies of the book.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because I got it for Christmas one year. And then I wanted the sequels for Christmas, so I've just had it on my list. I don't get everything on my Christmas list every year, but my mom always asks for suggestions, so I just have a list here's what the current list is. And so I've had the sequels on my list for a couple of years, and she could have bought one of the sequels by itself, but she couldn't buy the other one by itself. She had to buy it in a group of all 3 of them.
Gotcha.
So she's like, I know this one wasn't on your list, but here's the story. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I gave it to friend of the show, Pants Benfeldick.
Cool. This is also my number 14. So we match up on this one.
I've got Howl's lower than this. I think
Which
my
is fair.
my Howl opinion is the more controversial one than Brock's Howl opinion. But I think all of our Howl opinions are controversial. But I just feel like there's a lot of people who watch Howl's and maybe like 2 other Ghibli films.
And they're like, oh, Howl's is the best.
Yeah. And it's like, but you haven't watched Nausicaa.
Yeah.
You're just thirsty for Howl, which I get. But it just falls apart. And Calcifer is great.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal
Again,
doing
it's a
the
really
best.
good
The
movie.
best performance of Billy Crystal
It's a really good movie. It's just there are 13 other movies that are better.
that don't fall apart.
That don't fall apart at the end.
And it falls apart both story wise and literally. The movie Castle falls apart.
Yeah. Okay. Number 13.
Pompoko is where I have this.
You have Pompoko so high, which I love. I actually love that you have it so high. I am not bold enough to put Pompoko this high.
Okay.
I can't
It
do
is
it.
a good comedy.
Pompoko when we first watched it.
I know you did. I know you did.
It moved up. I enjoyed it more this time. It's still pretty low though.
If I would have just went off of like, a quick description of this, Pompoko probably would have ranked low. But actually watching, I'm like, all right, I enjoy this.
Pompoko's so charming.
Yeah.
Yes, that's probably my biggest controversy, except maybe one other, but we'll see when we get there. Do we really want to even go into Pompoko or just?
I mean, it's raccoons and or tanukis
Shapeshifting.
fucking with humans. There's one transcendent scene in this movie.
Okay.
But the rest of the movie is charming as well. And it has Clancy Brown.
And J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons as raccoons.
They had one job and they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they did do it. That was the problem.
That was the problem. They did the job they weren't supposed to do.
Okay.
All right.
Number 12.
12, when Marnie was there.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So I'll say this now. Every movie after this, I've seen more than once.
Okay.
That is why this is here.
See, you got Marnie at about the right. You keep missing
About-
my list by like a point. We 3 are probably the world's biggest when Marnie was there fans.
Mm-hmm.
God, that ending just.
That ending is such a punch to the feels that I don't think you see. Did you see it coming the first time you watched it?
I was like, is this? Nah, it's got to be something else. And then when it did, I'm like, when they started finally revealing it, that's when I quickly.
You're just like you're flashing back to. Oh wait!
Yeah.
Oh wait!
Yeah, it
Getting goosebumps now.
I
love this movie.
yeah.
I will sometimes.
There are people
I'll
who like
sometimes get
trash
choked up.
this movie, and they're wrong. This movie's great.
I'll get choked up thinking about the end of this movie sometimes.
Yeah.
Same. I started thinking about the ending. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So good. There is a little bit of it, a lull, I think, in kind of middle third.
I think it picks up when the littler girl shows back up.
Yeah.
And she's like accusing Anna of being Marnie. I think when she kind of right before then is when it gets a little like, okay.
It's not perfect, which is why it's not higher, but just that ending is
12 is a good place for when Marnie was there.
11, Tales of Princess Kaguya.
Okay. You need to get the fuck out of here, man. That movie
I get it.
is a masterpiece.
Does it help you that, like, in my next
Wait,
four,
sorry. This one, you have to make a correction. You've only seen this movie twice. Or you've only seen this movie once.
Oh, yeah. I did. Yeah, no. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
I get this.
Forget that I saw
He's
that.
wrong, but I get it.
whenever I was making this
you
list,
understand
like the next
the man children. You're like, yes, Brock would rank this at this point.
This movie,
he wouldn't be able to deny it, but he would put more stuff in front of it than
if it makes you feel better, like the next 4 or 5, I was like, God, is this? God, I really like all of these. I don't want to rank them.
I guess my first thought is just like, I'm glad it's number 11.
I'm glad it got that high. Yeah. It's like, it's to understand the man-child psyche, and I'm sorry that I keep calling you that. But
it's fair.
I've got a little man-child in me. I like to think I've grown a little bit past it.
I mean, wait till you hear my number 1. I'm a man-child.
But it's just like, there's just so much, you can't, to get to your psyche, this movie is good enough that you can't deny it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
But it's also good enough that you'd be like, I mean, Avengers Endgame is better than this, which is not true.
No, I agree with you there. Like, no,
But there are other man-children that would.
Yes, I do know that. I just
think you can't deny the beauty of this movie. You can maybe nitpick the story, and maybe even then, I think it's good.
I should say, without knowing like the full folklore of Kaya, so how close it is, I'm not too sure. But it's like, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
this is definitely one of the movies like you need to watch this.
I will also say, if in terms of it being rewatchable, 11 kind of makes sense. You can't really. This isn't one of those rewatchable. You can't watch this every week.
No.
This is like maybe once a year.
You can't put this on for your 3-year-old like you can Ponyo and watch
you don't
it 3 times a day.
I don't think you want to be like, hey, we're chilling out with friends. You guys want to pop in Tale of Princess Kaguya?
Yeah, it's just like casual hangout. Hey, let's put a movie on. I got just the movie. Yeah. Let's bring the energy down.
This is like guys, I'm giving you like a month advance. We're watching Tale of Princess Kaguya on this day.
Where you can show up, chit chat a little bit before we begin, but then the lights are going off and nobody better fucking make a noise. You go to the bathroom before we start.
If we gotta go,
or you piss your fucking pants.
You better bring diapers. Okay. Number 10.
Number 10, Whisper in the Heart.
Whisper in the Heart.
So you've seen Whisper in the Heart multiple times?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say I don't remember too much. A lot of these I remember watching after high school. I went on websites and found them and watched them there. I remember seeing a few like on Toonami, and that was
Toonami would have occasionally. They'd have like we're gonna watch Studio Ghibli. That's how I first watched Spirited Away and got traumatized when I was like 10.
Yeah, I guess we'll get there whenever we get to that one.
Hank's house. I don't get this. Then I watched it the second time at Hank's house. I'm like, oh, I get it.
This movie rips. I will say, we already did show Joe and Tell on the live action remake / sequel. Not worth it.
Whisper of the Heart's great.
Yeah. And Whisper of the Heart is one of those where it's like, it probably should be lower on my list.
Probably.
I say lower. Lower meaning worse on my list. Not lower in number, because the lower the number, the better. Like, I probably have it ranked too high, but I just have such a fond attachment to it.
That's one I could like almost watch any day. It's like, you want to watch Whisper of the Heart? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, didn't we just watch that 2 weeks ago? Yeah, but then I listened to Country Roads.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I need to watch Whisper of the Heart again.
Yeah. Another one that just really good free watch, Kiki's Delivery Service is where I have at 9.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a respectable place for Kiki's. Kiki's just, it's just a charming little movie.
Yeah.
There's a dirigible.
And a blimp, a zeppelin.
That's what a dirigible is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea.
I thought they used dirigible to describe it in the movie.
They might have.
Maybe they said
that was like
I don't think
20
they said.
weeks ago.
It was a lot. Because we watched this in release order.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, delightful movie.
Okay, number 8. Though if you asked me this before we made this movie, it would have been at 25. Spirited Away. Okay. The only reason why it would have been so low is because, like Johnny said, it traumatized me. Yeah, this was the first time I've ever seen it 100% fully.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't deny this is just a really good movie.
But
I just remember being like,
for it, but whatever.
I just remember being like 12 and like, no, and then go to watch Courage Counting Dogs.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't change the channel because Courage was also a Cartoon Network show, and that movie aired on Toonami, and not when Toonami was we're edgy and for adults and we play it late night. No, it was still for kids. Saturday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Toonami. They're just like, we're gonna play these Studio Ghibli movies, and you're gonna see your parents get turned into pigs, and it's gonna freak you the fuck out.
Yes.
Oh,
no, this is a masterpiece.
Yes, it is a masterpiece. I can understand you being like, I don't want to rewatch this movie because, I was that way for the longest time. But I'm like, I can't deny this movie.
Oh no! After 10, if you could just call me or text me like, "Hey, we're watching this. You want to join?" Like, I'll be there.
I'm in.
Johnny, I'm already here.
Even this next one, though, I don't think you guys will rewatch it. Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, this is what I was waiting for. You put Grave of the Fireflies is a really good movie. Everybody should watch Grave of the Fireflies. But dear God, do I never want to see this movie again. Yes. And you ranked it high for rewatchability.
Stop hitting the table.
So this, I would say rewatchability for myself. Not necessarily like, I'm going to invite people over to rewatch this. Because I understand that not everyone will enjoy this movie. It's such a different dynamic than what I've always grown up with. And that being, Americans are actually kind of the bad guys in this.
Well, it's not that Americans are bad guys in this. It's that war is fucking hell.
Yes.
And it hurts people. Like, civilian bombings is just the worst thing in the world. Mm. I don't know. It's very much, we grew up in an area that is very, how should we put it, patriotic. Wow. Is the nice way of putting it, I guess. And very much, like, it's a good thing. And
it just also,
I don't want to, like, say anything wrong here. Don't take this the wrong way. But, like, there's a difference between glorifying troops and glorifying war. And glorifying war is terrible.
Horrible.
Yes.
Now, glorifying troops, there are a lot of troops, not just of other nations, but our troops too, that do a lot of terrible things, and not just because they were under orders, but because they're terrible people given a position of power in a land full of people.
They can take advantage of.
Yes.
So, and it's not necessarily meaning they're taking advantage of people in Japan. This is just showing what Japanese were doing and going through during the war, during everything that was happening. So it's a very hard movie to watch, but so
and like, this is not just like I'm sympathizing with Japan. I think America's a bad guy. I'm sympathizing with civilians on both sides because that's what they are. There's people. Yeah.
You could watch this and change the Japanese to any people, and it would still hit just the same.
Yeah.
We'll move from the depressing one in this one.
I just think it's so weird you put it so high for rewatchability. I just never want to see this movie again.
I do. I want to feel the pain.
I don't really like this movie. It's pretty low on my list.
That's fair. I can get it if people are like,
this is one where it's at a point where it's just another one where it's like, I can't deny how this movie makes me feel, but I don't want to feel this. So, like, Marnie makes me feel sad.
Not the same.
But it's a very cathartic sad. It's a very much a, hey, I got some closure type sad. Anohana, the flower we saw that day, is another show where it's just like, it's going to make me cry, but I'm going to feel, like, better about myself. This one, it's just, I'm got a gut feeling in my stomach this whole movie, and it's just so disgustingly sad.
Yeah. We'll now move away. My number 6 is Castle in the Sky.
Okay. I think you have Castle in the Sky a little high, but I think my opinion on Castle in the Sky is a little controversial.
Yeah, we don't like Castle in the Sky that much.
What? Shia LaBeouf?
No, that's Nausicaa.
Yeah, he's in Nausicaa.
Mm-hmm. Castle in the Sky is James Vanderbeek.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we're not big Castle in the Sky guys.
Which like, I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
It's like, yeah, it's a castle in the sky, and there's these dope-ass robots.
Yeah, there's some really...
And we get to see the fox squirrels from Nausicaa there, too. And it's sort of a romance, but it's also just sort of like... And I think Dola and her boys are great.
Yeah.
And
there's
like
just a lot of great parts in it. Just for whatever reason, it just doesn't click with me.
Yeah, it's like they got...
there'll be some really great scenes, and then it's just like, oh, okay, now, whatever.
You're gonna... What's... Mark Hamill. I'm like, I could not think of Mark Hamill. Like, they got Mark Hamill to be a good villain. He does a great job as a villain. They got the scene when they're in town and they're flexing their muscles and bursting their shirts apart is transcendent. I know I've said transcendent. This one's a different type of transcendent. This one is I'm going to laugh every time I see this GIF shared.
This is art.
Whereas, like, the Pompoko transcendent is, I'm going to, like, if anybody talks during this scene, I'm going to shoot them with a gun. Yes. With a silencer so it doesn't disturb the scene.
Okay, number 5.
Number 5, Nausicaa and the Valley of the Winds.
Nausicaa of the Valley of the Winds.
I am glad that Nausicaa is this high for you. I feel like when we watched it, we weren't quite in the right mood for Nausicaa, so I'm glad that it got this high.
It's just...
This one moved down on my list the second watching.
Yeah, this watching of it, I didn't feel as good about it.
It's still great.
It's still great, but I'm just like, the first couple of times I've seen it, I'm like, this movie owns bones. And I think if I watch it again, I'm going to go back to, this movie owns bones, but I think we just weren't quite in the right headspace for it. I don't know what it was about this watching of it, but I did not change it on my list based off of this watching, because this wasn't my second watching of it. This was like my 4th or 5th watching of Nausicaa. So I'm like, I can't fluctuate it that much. Some of the other ones can fluctuate because I've only seen them once.
And this is the one that it's not on. It was just done by the director, not done by Studio Ghibli, right?
Technically.
Yeah. This movie was the guarantor that funded Studio Ghibli. Basically, it's like, hey, I can make this movie.
I think they technically own it now, so I think it is like a Ghibli movie now.
It's like, just based off the wiki, they don't have it on. So
Studio Ghibli did not exist before this movie, but this movie was made by the people who formed Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
I mean, and a bunch of other like freelance
This movie
people.
did great. We're starting our own studio.
And you can at least say this, I could see somewhat of the flaws in the story at this that just grew throughout some of the others. At least him as the director, and it's one of his first ever films. You can,
well, and part of this is before he got this movie made, he wanted to do this like as a movie or something for a while, and they're like, no. What if you wrote it as a manga? So he wrote a manga that I own, and I've read the first half of and haven't finished. And there is so much more of that he expands upon. And it's beautiful, by the way. And there's a scene where they go over Nausicaa's outfit, and it's just like, this part of her gun is for this. This, she's got this on her shoulder as like a pocket for things. It's just going over all these little details. And then it points to her pants and it just says, pants are pants. Which is a motto I live my life by. So it's like, it is just a matter of like what we talked about with Tales from Earthsea, where it's just like they took a bunch of source material and they kind of they took the ending and the beginning and they kind of formed this hodgepodge of what this manga is and cut out a bunch of other stuff. And I think they did a much better job on this. But just knowing that there's parts of it that just feel like they're building up this world and they just don't have enough space in a movie to then deliver on that world building. So they have to have sort of a rushed ending, which, again, I think they did a really, really good job of. But I can see why you'd put this at number 5. Which, I mean, like, my top 5 could probably, depending on my mood, shift quite a bit.
All right.
But I'm keeping them the way they are, because I think my top 5 is more of an objective, or I guess what I should say, my top 4 is more of here's an objective look at their best movies.
Okay. Yeah. What's your number 4?
Number 4, though, he's number 1 of boys, is Porco Rosso.
God, such a good movie.
Yeah, Porco Rosso he's our boy. We love him. A part of me is so disappointed that I can't put Porco Rosso at number 1.
Did you see I did that?
Yeah, I saw you did the plane.
I did the plane after a year.
Yeah, you got that plane for Christmas
last year,
2022. You put it together after Christmas 2023.
Mm-hmm. Hey, everyone gets there eventually. But yeah, I get the same thing as you, John. It's like, man, I want to put this higher. But these other 3 are so good.
This is one you can watch a lot.
Yeah, this is one I have watched a lot.
This is like we should watch a Ghibli movie. Porco.
Yeah.
This is one that, like, when my nephew was 4 and I picked him up.
You're gonna have something crazy in the top 3, and I love it. Go. Sorry.
We go straight there unless Johnny wants to say his story.
I was gonna say when my nephew was 4, I would get off work an hour early on Friday, and I worked like right next to his daycare. So I'd pick him up for my sister and babysit him for a few hours. And like this is a movie that I would put on for him every once in a while. Like, you want to watch the movie with the flying pig? Yeah, you do. Now you can watch.
Yeah,
it's still your phone background. It's like, yeah, you can watch this movie for an hour and a half, and I don't have to entertain you. I'll be entertained by the movie instead of you asking incessant questions.
All right, number 3, Ponyo.
Is this the crazy one you were just talking about?
Yeah, I knew it. I'm like, now, I forget. Who does Ponyo love? I know she loves ham.
All right.
Ponyo loves ham.
First of all, Ponyo loves ham.
Yes.
Second of all, Ponyo loves Sosuke.
That's it.
They
never mention it in the story at all.
Yeah, it's clearly subtext that you never get. So, Ben and I's favorite podcast, Blank Check, one of the hosts has a 2.5-year-old daughter. Yeah. Or no, at this point, she would be 3 because, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
The latest episode that came out, they're like, yeah, we recorded this like half a year ago because our guest was available. And in that podcast, they say his daughter is 2.5. So she's about 3 now. And it's just like, yeah, we watch Ponyo like 2 or 3 times a day. And I am not sick of it.
Yeah, it's his favorite movie.
He's like even before he had a kid, he's like, Ponyo is a movie when I'm like upset or like riled up. I just like I tell my girlfriend, I was like, you need to leave me alone for a little bit. I just need to watch Ponyo and calm down.
It's a almost a perfect movie.
It's like Lisa is the best.
Lisa's the best. Yeah, it's great.
It's Studio Ghibli's, Taken.
Okay.
Yes, and that Liam Neeson's daughter
was taken.
I don't know. She ran away from home more than taken. I think this watch through, my like standout this watch through was like, man, I've just been not been thinking of Ponyo's sisters that much. They're great. They're a great part of this movie. More of the sisters, please.
No, Ponyo's great. I'm so glad you have it top 3. It's so good.
Yes.
It's like I can't put Ponyo that high, but I am happy that you exist so you can put Ponyo that high.
I was just like, man,
is there anything? But it's not 3.
I was like, Porco is probably 3. It's like, is there anything I could put above it? And I saw Ponyo. I'm like, yeah, it's a hard but yeah. Anyway, now my number 2, my neighbor Totoro. That's where I'll put him. God, that's such a good movie.
I can't put Ben, I think, put it at number 1, spoiling your list. Maybe you've moved it, but at one point it was on number 1, and I like it a lot. I can't put it at 8. Or sorry, I have it at 8. I can't put it at 2. I can't put it that
I think
high.
it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's
the
so
movie's
good.
Perfect.
I got one movie better than it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I knew this. This is the one time you and I's list.
I think that's almost like how it's like my Ponyo. It's just, I could like just put this on and just
repeat it.
If I'm mad or like upset, just put it on Totoro and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Totoro, my boy.
Yeah, my boy.
He's making the plants grow.
Yeah. Look at her sleeping on him. It's so cute. Oh, he's in the rain.
He's wet boy.
Cat Bus is going for the rescue.
Cat Bus is here.
Woo! Yeah, I just love the movie so much.
Yeah.
All right. So number one, the only movie you haven't mentioned, the only time our lists agree 100%. You kept missing me by like one.
I know. I'm sorry, but this one, Princess Mononoke. I when I first watched it, I became obsessed with it. I'm like, I love this movie. It is so good. It is the closest thing.
You've got problems with it.
I think the first half of this movie is a masterpiece. I think the second half is a little weaker. It is still top 5 for me. I can agree with that. But that's my only issue.
I still have it at number one. Part of me gets where you're coming from, though, in the second half. But there are parts in the second half that I love, though, too.
I can tell you, like, as soon as he opens the gate, after that, it's not perfect for me. Everything before that, masterpiece, 10 out of 10.
I don't know, man. Like, Keith David is still doing a great job.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I mean,
I think we need to watch. So the next time we watch all the Ghibli movies, we're gonna watch them subbed. We have to do it subbed at this point because there's just so many of these that we have never watched sub because the dub is so good. I'm wondering how things change in the Princess Mononoke sub because I think there are some. I think my controversial take on that is the dub actress for San, Princess Mononoke, is a little weak.
I agree with that.
And she's more like, and the second half is when she finally like has spoken lines. So it's like, I that part it's just like it's not. So I'm wondering if some of the performances, I wonder. Somebody that's better at video editing needs to make a sub version of Princess Mononoke, but keep Keith David.
Keep Keith David.
Yeah, that is the one thing. Is like for certain male characters specifically, I've noticed when I've watched between sub and dub, English is having that naturally deeper voice seems to hit better than some in the sub. But there's also people in the sub that do a great job that I think when it comes to English just fall.
Are you talking just subs and dubs in
general?
Yeah,
just in general. Not necessarily in this movie or any of these, just in general. So then it's like some I enjoy better, like to go to Dragon Ball. I don't like it in subbed because...
Well, yeah, because the problem with Dragon Ball is that they have the same actress playing Kid Goku, which a female actress playing a child is very common.
A young male, super
common. In Japan and almost always.
Yeah.
And in America, almost always as well.
Yeah.
But, so it's like, but then they're just like, okay, now he is literally a grown man with children, and it's still this high-pitched little kid voice. I can understand. But, like, I also realize, like, yeah, but it'd be a dick move if they're just like, fuck it, you're out.
Yeah, which I'm fair. I also think it has to do with the fact that I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z first and in America before I ever watched
I'm never going to watch the sub. The subs versus dubs conversation does not come into play for Dragon Ball Z. It's dubs. That's what I grew up with. Unless there's something that's only available in subtitles, like when Dragon Ball Super was coming out, I probably switched to subs at one point. It's just like who gives a shit? It's Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
it's not the pinnacle of art.
Yeah, no. Anyway, back to Studio Ghibli. Yeah, that's my list.
You didn't get overall very respectable.
Okay.
Yeah,
you have one egregious mistake. Other than that, you're pretty good.
It's just because I like Grave of the Firefly. Shit.
No, it's because you have only Yesterday at 24. That could be not your favorite movie, but it's not 24. I'm sorry. Everything else,
I will admit, only Yesterday. As a movie, as a movie itself, and it's the more of the coming of age where the woman's realizing she can't be how she was as a kid anymore, is a really good movie. I will admit, like, it is really good. If you like it, I completely understand.
I want them to remake it with Daisy Ridley and Dev Patel in like live action.
Yeah. You remake the movie as shot for shot, and you get Daisy Ridley and Dev Patel to play the same parts.
Yeah.
The thing I'll say about Only Yesterday, that is the only movie that we watched at your house when you're still living with your parents too.
Yes.
So that's does that conflict with things?
No.
I mean,
No.
not for you and I, but was that like a weird mood that we had it in your place instead of?
No, not really.
Okay.
Not in my...
Is it because I owned it? Is this weird vendetta against me?
No. If that was the case, I would have made any movie that had a Ben in it way lower, and I don't remember which movies had
I
Bens.
don't think any of the movies had Bens.
Oh, I think I'd know.
Okay. So, I want to go through... We want to go through Ben and I's list, but I think we might just kind of go... Do you want me to just rattle off mine, and then you can go through yours?
Yeah.
Or, okay. So I have 25 Tales from Earthsea. I
Mhm.
put it all the way at the bottom. 24 is where I have Secret World of Arietti. And
Okay.
just take or leave Secret World of Arietti. 23 I have, as much I want this movie to be higher, but 23 is where I have Earwig and the Witch.
Okay.
I think it has potential. I think I want to read the Earwig and the Witch book. Because I like Diana Wynne Jones's, the 3 books of hers I've read in the Howl series. I think it's charming. It's just not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
Number 22 is where I have From Up on Poppy Hill.
Okay.
Which, again, at this time around, I think it's charming. I think it's sweet. There's a lot of fun stuff with the clubhouse. It's just not, it's just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
21, The Cat Returns. There's a lot of fun stuff in The Cat Returns, but I just can't, I can't in good conscience rank it better than 21. Number 20, this is the upset, because this was last on my list. Number 20 is My Neighbors the Yamadas.
Okay. What's Yamada with you?
I just think this time around, when we knew, here's the structure of this movie, that it was just, you could just sit and enjoy the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Number 19, this is another one where I wish I could rank it higher. Number 19 is where I put Pompoko.
Okay. Man, that is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
You fight for Pompoko.
I do. I will fight tooth and nail for people to respect Pompoko. But it's 19. I'm
Okay.
sorry. That's around the area that it should be at, in my opinion. You could go up or down, maybe a few places, but I will fight tooth and nail for Pompoko's. I guess the first time when we watched it, and you're like, I don't really care for that one. I'm like, what are you talking about? We watched the same movie, right? That movie was great. Number 18, and this is probably ranked a little high. I think a lot of people put this second to last. This is where I put Ocean Waves.
Okay, yeah. You were very high on that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just like that movie.
Okay.
I think it's also it's got a little bit of a scrappy,
Yeah.
its backstory is just hey, here's some up and coming animators. Let's have them, one of them direct the movie or whatever. And it's just these are the stories that these punks want to tell or whatever. Number 17, and this is probably my most controversial one. People are going to look at this and be like, how can you rank 16 movies higher than this? And this is Howl's Moving Castle.
That is pretty low for Howl's.
Yeah, and
Not far off from me, though.
no, this is to those people I say, have you seen the rest of the movies? Because Howl's is it's a very good intro. It gets people into it. It's just not.
There's just better ones. Yeah.
There's just better movies. Now this is the last minute adjustment I made, is switching Howl's with this next one, because I realized I had them in the wrong order. 16 is where I'm putting Castle in the Sky, which again I think is a little controversial. A friend of ours, I just don't like saying friends' names if they're not guests on the podcast.
It's fair.
He's like, yeah, this is the second best one, and I'm like, no. No, I'm sorry, it's not. You need
I
to
really
revisit
wish I
some
could.
of these.
I wish I could like it more. I can't.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dola's great.
The robots are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I want to be that robot's friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, Castle in the Sky. Number 15.
Is that the first time we get the Ghibli thing where they turn long hair to short hair?
Maybe. Because I don't think it happened in Nausicaa?
I don't think so.
What else came out before? Wasn't Castle in the Sky the first actual Ghibli movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
So did it happen in? I
It
don't
didn't
think it
happen
happened in
Lupin.
Lupin the Third. So, number 15, and this one, I don't know if this is the right place for it. This is where I put the Red Turtle.
Okay.
It's just like I think it's
That's about the range I put it in. So
Yeah.
I think it's good, but there are movies I have above it that I think are better.
I almost think that movie's too long.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I think you have to get into the atmosphere of it, otherwise it's not.
That's the thing where it's just like the first half hour, I'm like, oh, I'm vibing with this. This is great. And then I just kind of fell off towards the end.
Yeah.
14. This is where I put Grave of the Fireflies, which again is another one of those where it's just like kind of like the Red Turtle's like, I don't know if I necessarily want to revisit this. I know I don't. The Red Turtle's like, I don't know if I want to revisit this, but I might be able to be convinced to. Grave of the Fireflies, I'm like, somebody puts Grave of the Fireflies on, I'm leaving. I'm sorry. I'm like, I can't go through this again. I gotta go.
Yeah.
13. This might be a little controversial. This is where I'm putting The Wind Rises. Where I'm putting 13. Again, just whatever reason, I don't jive with it so much on rewatch. I think it's really good. I can't deny it, which is why it is as high as it is. Like, for instance, I'll probably rewatch Castle in the Sky and Howl's Moving Castle before I rewatch The Wind Rises. I'll probably rewatch Ocean Waves and Pompoko and My Neighbors the Yamadas before I rewatch The Wind Rises.
Okay.
But I can't deny it, so it's got to go somewhere on the list. And I think I can make a case for why 12 and onwards is better than The Wind Rises. So 12 is where I'm putting Only Yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know where's that in comparison with your list, Ben?
I have it at 11.
You have it 11. So we're
Yeah.
pretty close on that one. I think it's really solid. I think there are definitely problems where it's like not a lot happens in that movie.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to vibe with it, and that's what we do.
I vibe with that movie.
Number 11 is where I put When Marnie Was There, which I think you had at number 10, Brock. No, you had it at 12.
Yeah, at 12.
Yeah. So it's just like When Marnie Was There. I mean, this one should be ranked lower, but I just love this movie so much.
I have it ranked higher.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Not by much, but I have it higher.
It's just like, yeah, this is this is good stuff. I will watch this movie so much.
I bet when I watch it again, it'll probably hit me harder because I know the ending.
You can just
and
like look at it.
Like, I'm gonna have that different perspective of it. Like,
we were watching it. I was like, oh, what is Brock going to think of this ending?
Well, like something I noticed.
Do?
Something I noticed for the first time this watch through. I'm like, oh hey, they both have blue eyes.
There's one thing I remembered is that she was given that hair clip.
Yeah, she gave her that hair clip as a baby.
Oh, see, this is why I gotta have to
I don't want to talk
watch
about
it.
it too much, but yeah. The hair clip it was given to her.
Which, like, I don't know if that's something that, like, I didn't notice or if that's just something that I noticed and then immediately forgot about. But it's like, oh yeah, there it is. Because the hair clip's not that important. It's not like she's always wearing it, but she wears it on occasion. God, I love when Marnie was there. Number 10 is where I'm putting Ponyo. I think this is the right place for Ponyo.
Wow.
I think
Johnny, she loves ham.
And
I
Sosuke.
know she loves Sosuke and ham, but not particularly in that order. All right?
But a hot mom.
And Betty White.
I think this movie is really fun. There are movies above it that I'd probably rewatch Ponyo before rewatching these other movies.
Okay.
But I think these other movies are technically better movies. I'm sorry.
Well, technically.
Number 9 is where I'm putting The Boy and the Heron.
Okay.
This is me. This is me making a call of I think this is a better movie than Ponyo.
Okay.
Now,
again, I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I most certainly need to watch it again, and it may go down or it may go up. But if it goes down or it goes up, part of the problem is like, okay, but I still think it's a better movie than Ponyo.
Okay.
And then that's kind of going into me trying to be objective versus subjective. There's definitely a bunch of subjectivity in this list. But I think this is me trying to be objective about The Boy and the Heron. I'm putting it at number 9.
Sometimes you want to be there, but you're just like, I have to do this because I just love this movie so much, so I have to put it higher than it's supposed to be.
Yes, exactly. Number 8 is where I'm putting Totoro.
You son of a bitch.
And you guys both have it higher than me.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Now, number 8 and number 7, I think, can switch very easily. If that makes you feel better. Number 7 is where I'm putting Kiki's Delivery Service.
Okay.
I think those movies both fill a very similar role.
I have Kiki's lower.
Okay.
So I think you're still wrong, but whatever. It's your list.
I think I'm right. That's why I did it the way I did it. If I thought I was wrong, I wouldn't have done it that way. Anyway. So, Kiki's Delivery Service, again, like, I think I like Ponyo. I'll rewatch Ponyo more than Kiki's and Totoro, probably.
Okay.
But, I think those are better movies than them, is where I'm at.
Okay.
That's fair.
Number 6 is where I'm putting Whisper of the Heart.
Okay.
This is one where it's just like, it shouldn't be this high.
No,
it really shouldn't. But I love it so much.
Yeah.
I have it close to there. I'm like, this is too high, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't put it lower. That's ridiculous. Why would I do that? Number 5. This is one that I wish was number 1.
Okay.
Number 1 in my heart. Our boy, Porco Rosso, at number 5.
Okay.
This is another one I think I missed you by 1, because you have him at 4.
Yes.
And I'm like, nah, he's 5. I'm sorry. Number 4 is where I'm putting Spirited Away. This is another one where it's like, I can't deny how good this movie is. I have to put it... My top 4 are definitely like... This is me trying to think of the 4 best Studio Ghibli movies.
Okay.
And I think number 4 is Spirited Away. I think the other 3, I can make legitimate arguments for being better movies.
Okay.
Now, can I make those arguments coherently? No. Maybe if I had time to prepare, which is not what this episode has been about.
No.
I know that this episode is 25, 27, 28 weeks in the making, but there's not a lot of preparation in that making.
No.
Number 3, and this is tough, I think, but number 3 is The Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Okay.
I think it is a masterpiece, but I think all 4 of these movies in the top 4 are masterpieces. And it's hard to rank masterpieces. I think this is the most beautiful of the movies on this entire list. It's a watercolor given life.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's just... the dub voice acting is phenomenal in it.
They got James Caan and Mary Steenburgen. It's perfect.
It's just a matter of like, I think the other 2 are better, and maybe I like the other 2 more.
Okay.
Number 2 is where I'm putting Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind.
Okay.
I just think again, this watch through wasn't as good. I'm blaming that more on mood than on the movie.
Okay.
I think this movie owns bones. It's beautiful. We mentioned Hideki Anno voicing The Wind Rises. He animates the giant, like, flesh golem robot thing. That's him doing that animation.
Mm-hmm.
God, it was so good.
It's just like, I watched that and I'm like, this is why Shin Godzilla is good. This is why certain scenes in End of Eva are really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that movie does something for me.
Okay.
Number 1 is, we already said it. I share it with Brock. It's Princess Mononoke.
Okay.
And I think this is more it shining through. I think this is my like shining through, putting it at number 1. But I do think my top 4, I don't think you can argue that these movies aren't the 4 best Studio Ghibli movies.
Okay, well, I have it at 5, so I could argue. Whatever. I can't deny it. It's great.
Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna be mad at you for putting it at 1. It's great.
Yeah.
I have a slight issue with it, but
just that second half just rubs you a little off.
Yeah.
And they do a little bit of CGI.
For the
for the Spirit Walker too, might be a little bit of part in the sledge and stuff. That's like, this is a slightly different animation and it's not quite seamless. But I also think the acting falls a little bit in the end. What's the guy that plays the monk who has who's trying to get the head?
Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton. I feel like his performance in the latter half isn't that good either. Yeah. Like, he might be a little phoning it in. I don't know.
It kind of seems like that was just shoehorned in a little bit.
But, so there are definitely problems with it, but I think I have so much fun with it. Ashitaka's best boy.
Yeah.
Porco Rosso is best boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ashitaka is second place, though.
Oh, I mean, he could be best boy,
Sosuke
but Porco
3?
Rosso has, best body.
Porco best body, yeah.
Sosuke is a good boy. I want to go best boy.
Okay.
And I mean good boy in a different sense of not like, he's not good, better, best.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
What is it? I'm just remembering the old lady that's kind of the cranky one being like, what is this supposed to be?
I don't want to be here.
Okay.
I wasn't been tricked. They're all went into the ocean.
They're crazy.
I'm going to go real quick through mine.
Okay.
We've basically talked about these, so we can just list them. 25, The Tales from Earthsea.
Yep.
Number 24, Earwig and the Witch.
Okay.
23, Ocean Waves.
Okay.
22, Secret World of Arrietty.
Okay.
21, The Cat Returns.
We match there.
Okay. Number 20, Pompoko.
Okay.
Number 19, Our Neighbor the Yamadas.
I have those two switched, but okay.
Number 18, From Up on Poppy Hill.
Okay.
Yep.
Number 17, The Red Turtle.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Number 16, this one's a little controversial, Grave of the Fireflies.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. 15, Castle in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Number 14, Howl's Moving Castle.
Yep.
Okay.
Number 13, The Boy and the Heron.
Okay.
Again, subject to rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Ooh.
Fair. I want to say fair.
Okay. It's a little lower. I do really like that movie. It's a little bit of a... I think your vibe has to be in the right mindset for that movie.
Yeah, I don't think our vibe was...
If your vibe isn't matching that movie, and it's not... It could be kind of bad. Well, not bad, but...
You're just not vibing with it, and so you...
Like, if you're having a bad week, it's probably not the best movie for it, yeah.
I feel like I want to watch that with, like, my nieces, and I'd be in the right mindset then.
Number 11, Only Yesterday.
Fair.
Number 10, The Wind Rises.
Fair.
Number 9, When Marnie Was There.
All right.
A little high, but I respect it.
Yeah. Number 8, Whisper of the Heart.
A little low, but I respect it. No, that's probably about where it deserves to be.
Probably a little high for most rankings. But
yeah, a little high for most rankings, yes.
Okay. This one's maybe the most upsetting. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is number 7.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Oh, God.
It's the second watch through. I just found some things that I think the 6 that I like more. Mm-hmm. Number 6 is Ponyo.
Okay. I mean, I gotta give you the props. I give Brock the prop for putting it at number 3, so I can't get mad at you for putting it at number 6. I get it.
I'm sorry, Ponyo loves ham.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 is Princess Mononoke.
That's a take, but okay.
It's a little rough, but all right.
Well, at least it's in the top 5, I guess.
I think I had to be like, I have to put this top 5. It's... whatever. Number 4 is Porco Rosso.
All right.
I love me that pig.
Give me that pig.
Number 3 is The Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Hey, we match again.
Yep. Number 2 is Spirited Away. And number 1 is My Neighbor Totoro. Yeah. I love that guy.
I am... Ben has said I'm not allowed to go through this whole list. But can I give you the top 10 Ghibli moms?
You're moving it down again. You're only allowed 10.
Okay.
Go.
That's fine.
Top 10.
This is why I wanted to start at number 10. Top 10 is Dola from Castle. Number 10 is Dola from Castle in the
I
Sky.
don't know if they heard you. This is the top 10 Studio Ghibli moms.
This is the top 10 Studio Ghibli moms. I ranked all the moms. I might have missed one or two.
Okay.
But I haven't ranked the Boy and the Heron moms yet. I need to rewatch.
I don't think they're top 10 though.
No, I don't think so either. So number 10 is Dola from Castle in the Sky.
Okay.
Great pirate mom.
Loves her boys.
loves her boys, but gives them a hard time.
Yeah.
She gives them the tough love.
Yeah.
It's a great character. I love that character. She's sweet when she needs to be.
Shit, that guy's a Ben, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's the one Ben.
Her husband is a Ben.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Number 9 is Grandma Mare, which is Ponyo's real mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
The giant sea goddess. Yep. Top 10 material right there. Number 8 is Asako Tsukishima, which is the mom from Whisper of the Heart.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
I just feel like she's a good mom. She supports her daughter going off the beaten track.
Okay.
I think the father supports more, but I didn't rank the dads.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7. Now this is maybe a little controversial. I'm putting Tanar from Earthsea.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
She took in a dragon lady out of the kindness of her heart. She has adult children, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll take care of this badly burned girl."
Okay.
Number 6 is the mom from Totoro, Yasuko Kusakabe.
Okay.
She was in the hospital.
Yeah.
She loves them.
Okay. That's a weird one.
All right.
Number 5 is a spoiler.
She does have the biggest.
Number 5
forehead.
It's a big spoiler. Marnie from when Marnie was there.
Oh my god.
But more how she takes care of Anna and did her best for her daughter in a bad position.
God, you just spoiled that term. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Yep, I said it was a spoiler. Number 4, Yoriko Sasaki, or Auntie, Marnie's adopted or foster mother.
Yeah,
I got mad props for foster mothers and adopted mothers that care.
Mm-hmm.
God,
that movie's so good.
Number 3, the bamboo cutter's wife from the Tale of Princess Kaguya.
Good mom.
Yep.
Good mom.
Good mom.
Number 2, Moro, the giant wolf from Princess Mononoke.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. It feels like she's a little too bloodthirsty, but
You want a bloodthirsty mom.
Okay.
Trust me.
Just
Number
checking
1,
those boys away.
undeniable,
Lisa
Lisa from
Bullitt.
Ponyo.
best mom in maybe cinema history.
Quite possibly. I'm not going to commit to that right now,
No.
but I will think on it later.
Yeah, I would have to think on that. Yeah.
So that's the top 10 Studio Ghibli moms, according to me. I've currently got 36 mothers listed here.
Okay.
I will say number 36 is Marnie's mom. I ranked her
Okay.
the lowest.
I feel like
I
a bit
ranked her
unfair.
under Yubaba.
Oh, Baba loves her baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Baba's just a bad person, but not a bad mom.
Yeah. Well, there are times when she couldn't recognize her own son when he was
Through
transmogrified.
magic. It was through magic by someone as skilled in magic as herself.
Remember those 3 heads?
Yeah, those guys were great.
Those guys are
Those guys are great. Why didn't we mention them when we spirited away? Yeah. I don't necessarily have any other I put the red turtle at number 13.
Okay.
Spoilers for that one, too.
Oh, do we want to ask the question? You want to ask Brock the question we're talking
go
about?
ahead. This is
Okay, this is a spoiler for the red turtle. Would you fuck that turtle?
Do I see it as the turtle or as the woman?
It turns into a woman, just like in the movie. Do you fuck that turtle?
I mean, at that point, it's a woman, so might as well.
Okay, Brock fucks the turtle. Benjamin, do you fuck that turtle if it turns into a woman?
I mean, yeah.
Okay, that is the right answer.
That is the right answer?
Yes. We're all in agreement we would fuck that turtle if it turned into a woman. I would not fuck the turtle in turtle form.
That would be.
I want to make that point very clear.
But you don't want to get yourself.
I would be
mutant...
fine knowing that its true form is a turtle, and if it swapped between the two, fine. But I'm not fucking it in turtle form.
Well, you don't want, Teenage Mutant Turtle.
No, children. I do want Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I don't want a fucking actual turtle.
Did the sun turn into a turtle?
We don't know.
Quite possibly.
Was that what you got that
vibe,
right? He could
swim like I felt like he could swim and possibly breathe underwater like a turtle.
Yeah, like he was a turtle.
Yeah,
right?
he just started swimming out in the ocean. I'm fairly for sure he's basically a turtle at that.
I mean, the moment he went in water, he knew how to swim.
He became a turtle, right?
It's
no,
like
never.
Wolf children.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, it's like wolf children. He could choose between life as a human or life as a turtle, and he could only be between the two worlds for so long, like he was when we saw him in the movie. And I think he chose the life of the turtle.
Okay.
I mean,
so,
good life.
Overall, how would you rate this experience?
I enjoyed it. This is definitely, if you never watched a good portion of the Studio Ghibli movies, you need to.
Yeah,
they're all good.
I think there's merit to watching all of them except maybe Tales from Earthsea, Secret World of Ariete, Earwig and the Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think at that point just watch them. Yeah.
And then depending on how you watch, but I think depending on how you are as a person, you might skip Graveyard of the Fireflies. Like if you can't handle a very harsh reality,
that's what it was the first time.
You should probably skip it. Yeah,
I'm not ready for this.
Yeah, it's definitely oh god, we have to watch it. I talked about this movie with my mom like a couple days after we watched it, and like I was getting choked up again just thinking about it, like and talking about it and being like, it just really affected me.
Yeah,
which I have to give it props for.
Yeah, which it was weird whenever we watched it. That's when Oppenheimer came out, and so
that is true.
It's like it became just such a weird experience.
It's a weird double feature.
Yeah.
It's just the movie is very, very
good at what it does.
And a part of me, I think I made a Facebook post about it. A part of me wants to force everybody to watch it so they can have this perspective and be a little less bloodthirsty. And a part of me is like, I don't want to put people I love through that. Yeah. I want to force people that need to fucking check themselves to watch this movie. And make better decisions. And by those people, I mean like people in power that make those decisions, not necessarily like individuals. Because I mentioned this before, and we kind of moved away from it. You're talking about glorifying war and glorifying the troops. First of all, the troops are humans. They can make mistakes, so you shouldn't glorify them. But you can respect their decision, so long as they're making the decision for the right means, sort of thing. And I think that's what a lot of people just assume they're doing when they're supporting war, is supporting the troops, and making that decision. I'm glad as hell that I didn't ever have to make. I decided the other way, sort of thing. So I'm glad somebody is willing to make those decisions. But the people in charge making the real decisions that matter, and I don't mean in America, I mean all around the world, and the fact that we can't just fucking get along, and we have to covet other people's stuff, and then we have to respond and also covet people's stuff. It's just I hate the fact that war exists, is I guess what I'm getting at.
It's kind of like the whole Miyazaki thing is.
Miyazaki is so bad about.
And it's like, but even he was not like, hey, this is
wrong.
This wasn't his movie. This is Isao Takahata's movie. And he didn't go this far in any of his movies. The closest we get is The Wind Rises.
Yeah.
And like Howl's Moving Castle is very anti-war, but in a cartoony way where it's like, there's like wizards that turn themselves into monsters and he's blowing up battleships and we don't see civilian casualties.
That's true.
In those wars or in those movies. And it's just like, man. And it's very, I mean, Grave of the Fireflies I think is also very heavy-handed, but it's fine. Like that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Its point was hammered in with that heavy hand.
I guess the theme of this episode is watch Studio Ghibli movies.
Yeah, and watch the ones that you...
I don't care what people say. They're great.
Yeah. Don't just watch Howls is my takeaway. Is what I want to tell people.
Be open-minded to all of them.
Yes.
not just Miyazaki's or like the higher.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Them.
Yeah, you can even watch Goro's or have some charming moments.
Yeah.
The 3 Goro movies are Tales from Earthsea, Earwig and the Witch, and From Up on Poppy Hill.
Yeah.
And I think they all have things to enjoy about them.
Mm-hmm.
Tales from Earthsea just has the least to enjoy about it.
Yeah.
Maybe just watch the first 20 minutes.
Just
20 to 30 minutes.
I don't know. I think there's parts
Willem
of the
Dafoe
end.
shows up. You could just probably skip it.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe made a choice in that movie.
That's why it's last. Anyways,
Brock did not put it last thow.
No.
What did you put last again?
He put Ocean's Wave last.
Ocean Waves.
Only yesterday.
At 24.
Yeah.
He likes Tales of Mercy more than Only Yesterday.
Yep.
That is your worst take.
Part of the idea of this episode, I just want to note, we couldn't find it back, but there is like an article, a listicle that we found of the Studio Ghibli movies, San's Boy and the Heron, because it hadn't come out yet. And Ben and I went through that, and we were so fucking pissed at them. They had like Ponyo, they had Ponyo and Porco both ranked like really like
super low.
Yeah, and it's just like, why would you do that to my boy?
Yeah.
And it's just, we couldn't find the list again today. Otherwise, we might have tried to incorporate it into the episode. But this is one of our longer episodes in a while. We're at an hour and a half.
We talked about 25 movies.
Yeah.
We talked about 25 movies twice, because I kind of talked about them when I went through, too.
Yeah.
Do you want to give your Miyazaki... Do you have Miyazaki rankings?
I mean, I can kind of base on what I have on here.
Because I go Castle of Cagliostro at number 12, Castle in the Sky at 11, Howl's Moving Castle at 10, The Wind Rises at 9, Ponyo at... I need to switch those. I'm sorry. Howl's Moving Castle should be less than Castle in the Sky. I didn't switch them on this other list. So 11 for Howl's Moving Castle, 10 for Castle in the Sky. Wind Rises at number 9, Ponyo at number 8, Boy and the Heron at number 7, Totoro at 6, Kiki at 5, Porco at 4, Spirited Away 3, Nausicaa 2, Princess Mononoke 1.
Okay, so mine would be Castle Cagliostro. I don't have the numbers because they're listed in the Studio Ghibli, but it'd be Castle Cagliostro, Castle in the Sky, Howl's Moving Castle, Boy and the Heron, Kiki's Delivery Service, The Wind Rises, Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, Ponyo, Princess Mononoke, Porco Rosso, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro. I think I got them all.
Yeah. Mine would be The Boy and the Heron, Wind Rises, The Castle of Cagliostro, Howl's Moving Castle. Dude, if I can try to
Be Kiki's.
Yeah, I liked it less. Yeah, then Kiki's, Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa in the Valley of the Winds, Porco Rosso, Ponyo, My Neighbor, and Princess.
Love he has Ponyo so high.
I
love that he loves that movie.
I do.
The movie's a good movie to love.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah, Ponyo and My Neighbor Totoro 3 and 2. It's great. I love it.
Okay. Well, is there anything else we wanted to say on this?
No, I think we should end it.
Okay. You are now leaving the anime territory.
Are you going to plug?
Yeah, I can plug stuff, I guess. You're not leaving. Not yet. You're blocked at the gates. You got to show your papers.
Hold the gate.
I got to show my papers here. So you can follow us on Twitter as at anime_territory. Sorry, X, not Twitter.
Yes.
You can find us on YouTube as Anime Territory. I think there's a couple of things called that. We've got a cityscape picture.
Yes.
You can find us pretty much anywhere podcasts are found as Anime Territory.
Yes.
I have stickers of our logo. If you want one of them, tweet at the show. And when I see it, like 3 weeks after you tweet at me, I'll DM you, get your address, and send you a sticker in the mail. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Nope.
Okay. The paper's cleared, passport stamped.
Boom.
You're now leaving the anime territory.
Goodbye.